Good morning, how are we doing? So I struggle with eating out. It's like 2 steps forward and then back again at the weekends when I struggle to control things. There's meals out, social side of things. So any tips on this to help? And this is something, Sunday today, which is quite a typical day to cover this. And actually I'm eating out twice today, breakfast and then roast dinner later, Sunday roast. And actually, here's the weird thing. I actually find it easier in some aspects because I know I'm having 2 bigger meals, so I'll eat more at the meals. And this is a good reminder of how eating meals rather than snacking and picking make a massive difference. Like if you were to track your calories, and I'd test you to do this sometimes. Like sometimes we see a fry up is quite a bad thing, like highly calorific, however you want to call it. But actually, if you look at a fry up, when you have a fry up, you're probably quite full. You probably eat more than normal, don't get me wrong. You probably skip lunch. You probably don't eat to your evening meal, potentially. And again, there's having a fry up, then there's having a fry up. There's choices you can make. Are you loading up more on protein or more on the mushrooms in there, tomatoes in there, eggs, etc. Little swaps like going for grilled rather than fried if you can, poached, etc. Obviously they're going to make a difference, but one thing that this teaches us in some way, morning Lindsay, something this does teach us and remind us of is actually having meals rather than snacks, eating on the go is so important. So here's some things you can apply for any day, because if I was to track my calories, like I said, and go, right, fry up, roast dinner versus my normal day where I might be on the go a little bit, grab some in, and especially if you've got limited choices and you're not sitting down when you eat, the calories might be quite similar sometimes, even though I feel like I haven't eaten anything. Like you grab a handful of nuts there, you grab that, like a little bag of nuts. Like I bought a bag of nuts yesterday, pistachios. It was like something on the go quickly. It was about 600 calories. It was delicious and nice, and obviously provides a lot of nutrition. But it didn't feel like I ate that much. I could have probably had a pretty good fry up. I say fry up, like good breakfast. Not that I had that for breakfast, but just saying in terms of calories for that. And sometimes this is where being aware of calories can be quite good to overcome our beliefs, those beliefs we have about bad foods and what's good, what's a good choice, what's a bad choice. So some few things to apply for this is if you are eating out at the weekends, etc., just have meals, not snacks. Go for the meals and not the snacks. Even if you're like round someone's house being hosted, when there's like snacks in the middle, you are actually in control of them. Morning, Vicky. Morning, Lucianne. You are actually in control of them. Right, like they're the ones that you go and pick, unless someone brings it to you. And I get that can be a difficult one. You're going to have to say maybe no thank you, or you might have one. It's entirely up to you, of course. But meals, not snacks, is number 1. Go for meals and eat more at those meals so you're more satisfied. Like when I have that big breakfast, I don't really want anything for the rest of the day. And if I do, maybe have a rule like I do. If I want a snack, I'll have some fruit, for example. Especially on a day like today where I know I'm getting massive bolus of protein in the morning, massive bolus protein in the evening. And in fact, speaking of this, there was a study recently that looked at menopause and women's health, and they showed that little and often was worse than getting good boluses of protein in at like 2 to 3 meals a day. So in essence, less snacking, better meals where you get a good serving of protein at the meal. A good serving of protein at the meal to make sure that you're full, satisfied, and you're hitting the threshold, if you like, for muscle protein synthesis, which helps with recovery, which helps with all the great things that it does in terms of muscle independence, all the things that are associated with that. We look at menopause, the hormonal changes, like almost a soup and a recipe for muscle loss, etc., bone loss, but it seemed to coincide with having good meals. And if you think about this from a point of view of processed foods, snacky foods, etc., it makes sense, because actually if you eat good meals, you're sat down at the meal, right? If you're sat down, you're more aware, you're less likely to mindlessly eat. Number 2, when you are sat down and having a meal, you're more aware of how much you eat. And this is a key thing. And number 3, you're less likely to pick the processed drier foods, right? So like snacky foods are more dry, like even things like protein bars I find handy, etc., but they are dry as in like not just texture wise, but all snacky foods, although they're quote unquote healthier and they provide that protein, they're not that filling. Whereas I could have had 250 calories and had a chicken and cheese salad and felt a lot more satisfied. I could have had a chicken soup, if it's etc. Chicken lentil soup, something like that, which might have been quite filling. And again, I'm going to be more satisfied from that. So there are a few things to consider here. And when you're serving, when you're eating out, if you are in control, think about filling your plate first with veggies, protein, then the rest carbohydrate, if you are in control. If not, just control what you can at the other parts of the days and keep your attention on, okay, am I making this choice to people please or please me? Because often this is the case. I didn't want to say no. And I had this chat with someone the other day, and it was like, something I use from an Italian family that seemed to work quite a lot, even with gluten, etc., being an issue for me, was, oh, no thank you, I'm really thirsty at the moment. Can I just grab a drink? If you're like that snacky moment in between meetings, can I just grab a drink? Can I have a coffee? Something like that. Because often people just want to give you something, right, to show that they love you, especially in Italian culture. It's like free, I just nip over to say hi. And it used to be like 3 plates of pasta and meatballs. Anyway, I hope that helps. Any questions, as always, let me know. Have an awesome Sunday, and I'll see you.